It's Tuesday. I'm back from my trip. Lawrence Presman here, co-founder of WagerTalk Media and host of The Betting Edge with the Prez. Exciting show today. Tony Finn and Drew Martin joining us. Lots to talk about. But first, just a quick update and a thank you. Joe Ranieri hosted The Betting Edge the last 4 days. And with no disrespect to Drew Martin, a host of many shows, and myself, and even Kelly Stewart, it does not get better than Joe Ranieri. Very hard to follow that guy. His setup is better than mine. His voice is better than mine. He's younger than me. He's better looking than me. He knows more about sports than me. But yet here I sit in the seat. So a big shout out to Joe and a thank you for hosting these shows. Let's bring in our guests and talk. Hey, Drew, it was awesome seeing you in the studio last Wednesday, brother.
Yeah, good seeing you, Prez. Good to see, I believe you made it back all right. I don't know, I can't see on camera, but overall, you made it to Vegas. I do know that. And, hey, we're chugging along, man.
Great trip to Vegas. Spent Wednesday in the studio with all of you guys. And then I played a little bit of poker. I played in the 1100 Venetian deep stack tournament. Ended up coming 14th, missed the final table by 5 people, but made a bunch of money. And I actually got knocked out at around 5 p.m. on Sunday and literally jumped straight into the bounty tournament, the $200 bounty, and did make the final table. Came 6th and cashed in that as well. So it was a outstanding weekend in Vegas playing poker. Called Seattle last night. Missed the game, though. My airplane was delayed. It was really hard to get back into Toronto last night. There's so much snow. The winter hit fast. Tony, it was great seeing you, my friend. What's going on, brother?
Same grind here. It's a great day. Every day's Friday for in my life, and we're getting ready for football weekend. Football Thursday, actually football Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. It's a beautiful time of year.
Yeah, but at time of the year, nobody sleeps. I mean, Drew, you must be so busy. It's crazy.
A lot going on at Sports Memo, no doubt about it. And like Tony's alluding to, it's tough to keep up with everything, but college basketball getting in full swing and seems to be the most beatable sport anyway off the bat.
Yeah, I mean, I don't agree with you on that. You know, I've done well in college basketball throughout my life, but I feel like baseball and hockey are more beatable, and I am 1-0 in rugby, so I have a perfect rugby record. I called the New Zealand All Blacks in the semifinals against Wales. They were -19. They probably won by 40. It's $2 Tuesdays over at Sports Memo and WagerTalk.com. Drew, fill us in about the $2 Tuesday at Sports Memo.
The legend, Teddy Covers himself. His top play today, just $2 at sportsmemo.com, and it's going off tonight, so not too much time. Plus, when you buy Teddy Covers play, you get a coupon code for any other play on the board at sportsmemo.com for 50% off. So Teddy Covers, he's hot in November, and his top play is just $2 at sportsmemo.com.
Perfect, brother. Tony, you are the $2 Tuesday over at wagertalk.com. You're on an amazing run, a 40-25 all sports run in your last 30 days. You've got a 5% play up for $2 Tuesday. No?
It's a 4% actually. My top of the tickets are 4%. My big tickets are 5%. So I don't want to confuse you.
Yeah, that wouldn't confuse anyone at all, Drew. I mean, seriously, he's got a top of the ticket at 4%, big ticket at 5%. I'm guessing his 3% play is medium ticket.
No, the 3% are big top plays.
Oh, God. Anyway, Tony, you are the $2 handicapper over at wagertalk.com, and you have something called the top of the ticket. Worst name ever.
Thank you. I've heard this before. I have had names over my years, and I get comments that these are horrible. They make fun of me, and this is what I say. You remembered it. You took notice of it.
Nobody will remember it. Top of the ticket is not memorable.
I'll put Finn in the title.
Why don't you
They'll
go
remember
with
that
4% ticket?
4% sounds so.
Anyway, whatever.
Low.
It's
a low percentage.
You're the $2 Tuesday over at WagerTalk. It's an NFL play for Sunday. I've already seen the play. I like it, so best of luck.
Really?
We're having a ridiculous NFL season, but that's to be expected. You've been our best NFL handicapper at WagerTalk for 6 years.
That's nice to hear. That says a lot with the team that we have. So that I guess I could hang my hat on that. Something.
Yes, you can, my friend. Okay, let's get to it, boys. From now on, the format at the Betting Edge is one college football play, one NFL play, one NBA play, and one college basketball play. Also, a shout out again to Joe Ranieri, not only for hosting the Betting Edge, but also just to let everybody know we have an NBA show coming next week. It's every day, Monday to Friday, where Joe Ranieri will be hosting our NBA show. And we also have a college basketball show. Drew, you're involved in that, are you not?
I believe so. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be hosting it, but maybe once a week, jump on there and give out a couple selections that I'm looking at.
Excellent. So, guys, more content coming from WagerTalk, and I'll tell you flat out, we are the largest sports gambling content provider on the planet. Our YouTube channel is second to none. Our hosts and analysts are the best in the game. So thanks to all of you listeners and commenters, posters. We couldn't do this without you. Guys, let's get straight into the show. Let's talk about Auburn against South Alabama. Drew, I'll go to you first in college basketball. Auburn finds themselves at -7. They're on the road, and the total is 145. What do you like in this game?
Well, it's an interesting handicap in the sense this is Auburn's first time out playing not at home here. They're going down to Mobile, so you think, man, getting a team that's, favored from the SEC, heck of the run that they made last year, can't shake your head at. But they are going down to Mobile, maybe look to fade them. They keep in mind, they don't have Jared Harper, which if you watched Auburn last year offensively, Prez, in my opinion, their best offense was just to spread out and let their point guard, Jared Harper, just beat the guy in front of them and drive to the basket. That is how they scored a ton of their points, and then just him dishing off of that. So coming into this season, I was looking to bet Auburn maybe under the total, also looking to fade them when possible. And pretty much so far, they've been 1-1 ATS, 1-1 over, and one over, one under so far. So still trying to get a look at them here. But anytime you're getting the more talented team, they tend to control pace in college basketball. And going up against South Alabama, who, their first game went over the total against a Southern Miss team that's not bad. So it makes me really look towards this over. Think they're hanging it a touch too low at just 145. Thought this would be the 148.5, 149 range. So I think there is a little bit of value here on USA, that's South Alabama versus Auburn at 145 the total. I like the over a little bit here,
Yeah,
Prez.
I'm with you, Drew. I mean, Auburn's a fast-paced team, up and down the court, a lot of lanky guys, so I think that's a great call. Tony, how's your college basketball season going so far?
I've had 4 releases. I'm 3-1 so far.
I've had 2 releases, and I'm 1-1. Drew, how have you been doing?
Just 1-0, really light volume, and look to get after it a little bit more heavy, after 2 or 3 games here.
Tony, what do you like in this Auburn game?
Well, I'll say this. This is a much different, as Drew outlined, this is a much different Auburn team than last year's team. And I lean to the under almost immediately when I looked at this team and their capabilities and the pace. While they're the better team, they're missing a few pieces that allowed them to play as they did last year and succeed as they did last year. And it's a little early. the SEC is kind of outside of my gamut of games that I cover in college basketball. Although I think it's from what I read and what I hear and the beat writers I talk to, it may be the best conference in college basketball this year. So I better catch up on that. But what I know about Auburn and what I know about their opponents and what I know about this game is that I'm opposite of Drew. I like the low end of the odds makers closing number.
Guys, let's before we talk NFL, and we're talking about a hell of a game, New England versus the Eagles. I just want to give out a promotion code for everybody, Dave100. Koken is 38-22 in college football this year. That's 63.3%. Normally, for most of us plebes, 63.3% in college football would be incredible. That's literally his exact average over the last 3 years of college football. So same old stuff from Dave. He went 4-1 last week. You guys can get $100 off of his regular season price. Head over to WagerTalk.com. Use the promo code Dave100. Tony, I'll go to you first on this NFL game. New England minus 3.5 versus the Eagles, and I'll give my take real quick. Just a reminder to everybody, the NFL presidential address with Ralph Michaels will be up very late on Tuesday night, so check that out, where we'll go into major detail on every NFL game on the board. Tony, I don't remember the last time New England lost 2 games in a row. They went into Baltimore, they lost. This would be their second game. If they lose to the Eagles, it would be 2 games in a row. And I think that's literally what's going to happen. I don't think this New England team is nearly as good as they have been over the last 15 years. I played Baltimore last game New England was around, and I cashed that ticket, and I'm going to be playing the Eagles here, Tony. I mean, the bottom line for me is this. New England had probably the easiest schedule in the history of the NFL. They went 8-0 over that time period. And then they went to Baltimore and got slaughtered. And what we saw really was a defense that isn't as good as everybody thought. And Tom Brady's arm just looks dead to me. He cannot stretch the field. He was missing easy throws. They also don't have a world-class running game. They have no tight end. And that's a major, major deal because Gronkowski was his outlet, Brady's outlet for many, many years. I don't think this New England team is nearly as good as everybody else thinks. Not only do I like the Eagles plus 3.5, but the Eagles will win this game outright. Eagles minus 6.5. Tony?
I agree with you on many, many things. The one thing that we have to account for is that this is Belichick, this is Brady, and even on their worst day, they seem to play pretty well and come up pretty big and seem to be they don't know that Murphy's Law exists because things just don't go wrong for these two. But you're right about one thing. If Brady doesn't have the legs he's had in the past, if you look at him, if you get him off his X, if you can rush him, pressure him, you've done exactly what you need to beat New England because they don't have a receiver really that will stretch the field. And to beat Philly, to keep their safeties out of the box, you have to stretch the field. Look at the last 2 games that Philly has won. And Buffalo, Darno, he has no accuracy deep. And Trubisky is still kind of damaged goods. And Bears really don't have a receiver stretch field. Philly wins both those games. They played the game before that. They played Dallas. Dallas does have the ability to stretch the field. And they got slaughtered. Now, again, they had a lot of injuries. I have to agree with you here. If I'm going to play this game, I have to be. If I'm going to play it and I'm on it, you're going to see me on Philly because I listen. I don't think bye weeks necessarily help good teams. Good teams are good teams, and I think bye weeks are bad for bad teams. So let's go with Philly here and watch New England start sweating a little bit. See those Patriots fans worry a little bit about their Super Bowl reigning Super Bowl team defending the championship.
Drew, I'm 100% going to be betting this game. I will be releasing this game. This is one of my pay plays, so I'm giving it out for free on this show. I just love the Eagles. Where are you going?
Yeah, and at first I didn't like the Eagles very much. I'm not a big Carson Wentz fan. Just them winning the Super Bowl kind of with him out, it always made me question what's really going on. But he's kind of proved me wrong the last two games. Winning and covering both of them against Chicago and Buffalo, like you both just touched on.
Both defenses better than New England's defense.
Good point. Good point there, Prez. And it's just Tony kind of mentioned the fact, extra preparation time for New England off of a loss, Brady, Belichick. And you can say what you want about Brady's arm. It's still Tom Brady. He's still, a smart quarterback. We saw Peyton Manning, say what you want about that offense. His last year, he won the Super Bowl, and he didn't necessarily have a strong arm at that point in his career. You can still win games by just being accurate and making good decisions at the quarterback position, which Tom Brady has been able to do. So off the bye and the loss kind of combined there, I would look for New England to kind of bounce back, and it's enough to keep me off of it. I'm not betting against you, Prez, but I doubt I get involved.
Yeah, and just for the record, Peyton Manning did not win the Super Bowl. Denver won the Super Bowl. Peyton Manning happened to be on that team. Clemson minus 33.5, minus 34 against Wake. Clemson on the outside still looking in. They need to win this game by 50 points. Tony, where are you going?
Clemson. I don't play that kind of wood. We don't. It's just not a common. It's just not a common thing. You don't see a lot of touts or handicappers laying 30, 40 points in a football game for lots of reasons. But I did last week because I know this Clemson team has to impress. And not only did they jump out to a 28-0 first quarter lead. They did what they had to do to impress. I think they impressed with what they did. And it'll be even tougher this weekend against Wake. Wake's is a little more capable offensively. And while I like what Wake has done this year and what they've done last year and brought to this year, I still think Clemson wins this game and wins it decisively because they have to.
Yeah, I mean, Drew, it's a good point. Now that, teams like Clemson need to put up showmanship marks, if you will. But we saw that with Oklahoma last week. I mean, they really needed to lay the smackdown last week and got lucky just to get out of that game with a 1-point win. Where are you going in this one?
Yeah, I also think Iowa State's a lot better team than Wake Forest. But, when you look at Clemson, and Tony brings up a point in terms of, not laying the wood. I've actually thought in the last couple of years there's a little bit of value, quote unquote value here, laying the wood sometimes, because when a philosophy like that, and it's not just Tony, a lot of people talk about that, it's not a sharp bet to be laying 3 touchdowns or something of that nature. I don't know. I think value's value no matter where you can find it. Clemson's laid. They're 4-0 their last 4 times, laying more than 24 points. So, and that's against the spread and straight up, obviously. So I don't know. I'm not stepping in front of this Clemson train just because, the ranking's out. They're looking to prove a point, things of that nature. And plus, the quarterback position at Wake a little bit banged up. So you're not sure what you're going to get there. However, you got to keep in mind this Wake Forest offense, when healthy, can score some points. They're averaging 35 points per game. So this isn't exactly the profile I look for when looking to lay a lot of points. I would rather go after a team that can't really move the ball down the field, because keep in mind, a backdoor cover and a bad beat aren't necessarily the same thing. You got to work it into your handicap. If Wake Forest scores a late touchdown to get within this number, that needs to be part of your handicap, and it's enough to keep me off of this one.
Yeah, and I agree with you. I can't lay these points either, but I couldn't lay the points Ohio State gave out last week, and they sure as hell covered. Guys, real quick, I just changed the scroll. Teddy's on a 13-4 football run. He always has an outstanding November, especially in the NFL. I took $100 off of his NFL season package. Head over to WagerTalk.com and use the promo code Teddy100. Drew, do you have any promo codes handy for Sports Memo? I know we didn't speak about it, but maybe you have one.
Yeah, and I would lean people towards Sports Memo with Teddy. You can take $500 off of his 1 year all access package at Sports Memo when you buy his $2 play. Also, keep in mind, his $2 play is tonight going at sportsmemo.com. So he's the top handicapper at sportsmemo.com. Anything to do with Teddy. Also, feel free to email in sportsmemo.com, support at sportsmemo.com, and we'll help you out with anything. But his top play tonight is just $2 at sportsmemo.com.
Guys, the Phoenix Suns last year were one of the worst teams in NBA history. They've started this year 6-3. They're playing the 7-2 Lakers. They came out at +4.5, and it's been bet down to +2.5. I don't know what to make of this Phoenix Suns team at all. It's not like they went and added, Michael Jordan in the summertime. Over and under 220. Tony, where are you going in this game?
Well, this Suns team's young. They deserve a lot of what they're getting right now, and that's respect and that's success. However, this is a team that is setting records from the perimeter. 11, I think they're averaging 11 makes or what is it? And I apologize for not knowing it, but they did set a record. I think 19 3-pointers. But they're shooting at an incredible percentage. They're making an incredible amount of shots. But there's one caveat in this game. I really like the Lakers in this game. 2 reasons. One, they are coming off a surprising loss to not surprising because of Toronto, but because of Toronto was missing at the Staples Center this past weekend, and Lowry didn't play. Let's put it this way: they had a fairly large halftime lead and ended up losing by nearly double digits, guys. I expect the Lakers, who are a very good defensive team, and they defend the perimeter very well. If you look what they did to Miami, which is a guard-heavy team, Lawrence and Drew, they held them to 77 points. And this Lakers team not only doesn't have to sag because of Anthony Davis in the middle, they can guard the perimeter. And I think the Suns are in for one of many awakenings moving forward in an 82-game schedule, and they're not going to be 6-3. They're not going to be 12-6. They're not going to be 24-12 later on in the season. They're just not that deep, and they're not that physical.
Drew Martin, Suns are 8-1 against the spread their last 9. Does that streak end tonight?
I'm not one to step in front of those kind of trends. 8-1, the trend is your friend in investing. The trend is your friend in sports betting. Those are 2 things that I try to keep on my angle instead of stepping in front of that. But I do want to give a shout out to Tony, man. That was a great analysis there in terms of the matchup handicapping. And I think the matchup handicapping is the most profitable handicapping long term anyway. Just
1,000%.
Right, like trends and angles are fun. They're kind of sexy to talk about. But keep in mind, guys, the Vegas odds makers know all of that. Yes, whereas, the look, the matchup handicapping takes a little bit more work and, in my opinion, has a little bit more profitability to it. So I would follow what Tony said, Prez.
He's Drew Martin. I'm the Prez. Tony Finn with us. That, my friend, is the Betting Edge. Oh my God, I've just done 3 shows back to back. The college football betting show is up with Teddy and Dave. Puck Time is up with Andrew and Alex. This show is done, and the NFL presidential address will be taped later tonight. I need a breather. I went to bed at 5 a.m. because my plane got delayed. I'm literally picking my kid up. I'm divorced. I have 7 days on and 7 days off. My 7 days begins in 15 minutes. Cry for me. Oh.
No, it's exciting.
That's good.
Although I love my kids. I mean, let's be honest. I got 2 girls, 16 and 18. Anyway, love you both. Guys, thanks for watching The Betting Edge. We'll see you all tomorrow.
Good luck this weekend, guys.
All right, guys. Thanks.